Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Some of you might wonder how an LNG company can contribute to sustainable future in our industry. So let me give you an example how our company's vision is making sure that we use our experience and we achieve sustainable future. Our company is working in 4 areas on clean energy, and today I will concentrate about carbon capture and storage. So I would like to introduce our project called Stella Maris, which is a large-scale CCS infrastructure project, which we are running together with our partners Altera Infrastructure, which is another Norwegian company. Some data about companies which are team up to deliver this project. So Altera is specializing in FPSO and also shuttle tankers, as well as support vessels. And Hoegh is leader in providing FSRU services and has a fleet of 10 FSRUs and 2 LNGC carriers. So you can see some places where both companies are acting globally. So it's pretty globally covered, and offices spread around all continents. For us, some of you might wonder why Hoegh is interested in this project, but for us it's very natural because we consider this project as a reverse what we are doing today. So basically we would capture CO2, liquefy it and store it and ship it and inject it into saline reservoirs in North Sea. So this is basically backwards what we're doing. And Altera has a long-standing experience in running FPSOs in harsh weather conditions. So CCS technology roadmap, which was developed some years back, it starts in 1996 when the first injections of CO2 were performed in Norway. And our project is aiming for phase 3, where we build the market and offer our potential clients a solution, like a one-stop shop to deal with CO2 and provide them cost-effective solution. Our project is in a stage where we are finalizing our concept, and the FEED should be taking sometime next year. We already did feasibility study, and we just need to finalize a concept and find the most efficient way of implementing. So how this infrastructure looks like? So we need to have carbon collection, storage, offloading unit. And we are looking to have 2 of these located in key strategic positions in Europe. Northern Europe, it could be even Baltics. I will come back to that a bit later. You also need to have fleet of CO2 shuttle tankers, and we aim to have it carbon neutral fleet, modern CO2 shuttle tankers of 50,000 cubic meters capacity. And also part of equipment is offloading unit in North Sea, which needs to be placed in a position where we can deposit CO2 into saline reservoirs. Our project will be scalable, and it can be increased. It can be replicated in many places globally when the time comes. And we cooperate extensively with industry players and policymakers to get it implemented. So some more details about the project, about infrastructure. So carbon collection storage unit, which you can see on the top corner, is a floating unit which should be placed in some protected area in the port. And size is from 50,000 to 80,000 cubic meters. And it can receive different CO2 forms. It could be liquid, it could be gaseous form. And annual capacity of this production unit would be, storage unit would be about 5 million MPAs. CO2 shuttle tankers, we need to have 4 of these. They also will have a capacity of 50,000, which is largest, can be done with Type C tanks. Some of other projects, we're looking into smaller vessels, but we believe that bigger ones we can provide more cost-efficient solution. Offshore injection unit is a floating unmanned unit placed in the Northern Sea, and where CO2 is heated and inserted into reservoir. So a bit more about this carbon collection storage offloading unit. So you can see here that it has a possibility to receive different types of CO2, and on the picture you see the shuttle tanker more next to it as an illustration. CCSO, as we call it, is unmanned, so there is no crew residing on it, but personnel should come from ashore and work there in shifts. It has several options. It can come with purification and liquefaction, and it can receive different types of CO2, as I mentioned. Dimensions are quite big, more than 200 meters length overall. Just for comparison, Independence FSRU is nearly 300 meters, so it's slightly smaller, but still quite big one. So how we see what models we can accommodate, and the first one is that carbon capture can be provided by a Stella Maris project, so we can come to emitter and offer a solution to capture CO2, transport it to a hub, and from a hub we transport to offloading unit and inject into a saline reservoir. Another alternative is carbon captures can be arranged by emitter themselves, and we can take care of logistics. And another alternative is that some carbon emitters will have their own independent tank farms, which can be serviced by shuttle tankers and transport CO2 to injection unit. Commercial model, it depends mostly to the price of a current CO2 tax or European allowance unit. So if we collect CO2 and CO2 fee covers cost related to all infrastructure, then there is a clear incentive for emitters to look into this option and take it as a solution how they deal with increasing cost of CO2 tax. Of course, in a period when we are in a transition period, when the CO2 tax reaches certain level, some subsidies from the government would be welcomed, and that I think that some governments will provide these subsidies. Let me show some statistics in Baltics, how we see emissions. So I selected 10 top emitters in both of three Baltic states. So you can see that Lithuania and Estonia are emitting pretty similar amount of CO2. And if we make assumption that eventually 50% of this CO2 can be captured, there is a clear space for a hub, large-scale hub for CO2 capture in the Baltic states. So to conclude, we are looking this year to finalize a technical concept. We're working with our partners and looking to finalize the partnerships needed. And we plan from 2025 to become operational and provide one-stop shop for emitters, enabling them to deal with increasing CO2 costs. Thank you for attention.